Welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We've got a draft today. This is my number one league. This is the one that matters the most. I mean, when Brandon and I talk about our rivalry, this is the draft we talk about all the time. We finished 1-2 for the past, I think, or beat each other in semis like for the past, 4 years. We've battled all the way to the end. So this is a really big deal, and it's a lot of really good people. It's a $50 buy-in. It's with friends and coworkers and everything. So this is our number one league. This is the one I care about the most every single year. So going over the categories, it's very similar to our listener leagues, but the roster composition is very different. So the categories, just as a reminder, are going to be goals, assists, PIMs, power play points, shots on goal, hits, blocks, wins, and goals against average, and then save percentage lastly for goaltenders. So the roster composition is a little bit different. It's 6 forwards, 4 defensemen, 1 util spot, 2 goalies, and 4 bench. So it's a little bit different. It's not a positions league. So forwards, you can take a center. You can take as many centers as you want and not really have to worry about it. And then we've got the kit here, the tool that I'm going to be using. Got the leaderboard, all the standardized scores and everything ready to go. You can see kind of the scarcity graph that I kind of built out. I'll put this into the sheet next year. This is actually from Static Storm. But pretty much what it does, it's showing me here that defensemen are worth way less than a forward. But the problem is, too, that a defenseman falls off way quicker. And so you want to get one of these top defensemen because, a top defenseman is worth, what is this, the 11th, 12th, 13th forward, right? So that's kind of what you want to look at. That's the most important bit. Okay, so we've got 15 seconds here until it starts. Oof, I am nervous. So Brandon is drafting from 12. I'm drafting from 11. So we're back to back. And I'm wearing the Gamby shirt that Brandon got me for my birthday. So a long time, like 2 years ago or something, before the podcast, I think even he got me a Gamby shirt. So I'm wearing that today. Is good luck. So what's gonna happen here? First over. So Nikita Kucherov goes first off the board. Makes sense there. I didn't really expect anything less from that. And then we see Ovechkin go. Also not surprising. Let's see. Connor McDavid third. So someone I would have taken. I wonder. I'm curious where Brent Burns goes. And I don't know what. I honestly am at a kind of a loss on what to do here from a 11th position. I don't know what I'm going to do. Completely honestly, I don't know. I could go forward. If Marchand's there, potentially I take Marchand. Vasilevsky is somewhat interesting. It's a tough one. And a lot of people know us, have listened to the podcast, so that also doesn't make it as easy. So we'll see what actually falls to me here. Sagan went early, which I really like. I hope centers. I hope Burns falls to me. That would be incredible. That's the dream. The dream is that Burns falls to me at 11. But I don't think if it falls to the denominators, I think the denominators would take Burns if they got there. Pasternak off the board. I'm nervous, folks. I'm nervous in a good way, like a good, excited nervous. Now, Marchand went now. Man, it's just going to be so tough because there's not going to be any. Damn. Kane goes, oh my God, please give me Burns. But he's going to take Burns, right? Or is he going to go Stamkos? Please go Stamkos. Something, give me Burns. Please give me Burns. Come on. Don't take Burns. He's totally going to take Burns, isn't he? Don't take Burns. Oh, the suspense is killing me. No! He took Burns. I knew it. Okay, so now we're in quite a bit of a pickle here. Damn, that sucks. I would have liked to get him. Okay, so now we're looking at Wheeler is probably the absolute best option out there. Stamkos is also there, but so the problem is Brandon's right after me, and I think that Brandon will go Wheeler if I don't take Wheeler. So I could get Stamkos, and then I miss out on Wheeler, which sucks. And then I probably am actually going to – I might reach for Landeskog. I just don't know how this league is actually going to reach here. So I'm going to go Stamkos. because again, centers don't really matter as much. I know I've said I all fade centers, but I'm gonna go Stamkos, and then we'll see what Brandon does here. I'm guessing Brandon is gonna go Wheeler. The only reason I didn't go Wheeler over Stamkos is because I am a little bit hesitant on Wheeler crushing the power play points, similar to last year, because we don't know where Line is at. We don't know if Bufflin's coming back, and there you go. Brandon takes Wheeler, and he takes Vasilevsky, which makes sense. So he kind of followed exactly the advice that we've been talking about on the podcast. So with Vasilevsky and Wheeler off the board, now I've got a little bit of an interesting decision here. Now, the next best player that I want, the one I really want, is Gabriel Landeskog. And the problem is I don't think Landeskog gets back to me around in the next one. But it is quite a bit of a reach here at 14th. So I have Malkin ranked 14th, and I have Landeskog ranked 13th. And again, positions don't really matter. The problem with Malkin is I'm just so terrified of his injuries. Landeskog is actually quite down there. He's over here. So I think I'm actually going to go Malkin here. It's the smartest move. I don't exactly know how this draft is going to go just yet. And I'm not sure how many people listen to the podcast. So I'm just going to go Malkin. And the next round here, I'm going to take a defenseman. So the next round here will be defenseman, and then I'm going to reach, I think, for one of Kane or Larkin or someone like that. I'm going to reach for one of the guys I want. So get one of the defensemen I want. Potentially, I may actually go 2 defensemen, to be honest, depending on how it goes. Just because there's so much forward value. And I mean, because it's all forwards, there's so much value late in just forward, not having to worry about centers and everything, that I'm not too worried about having to make up. It's going to be much harder to make up defensemen than it's going to be to make up defense. Or it's going to be much harder to make up defenseman gaps than forward gaps in this league. So I did not expect to go Stammer Malkin there, but I don't hate it. It puts me pretty much in the lead when it comes to PIMs, power play points, assists, goals. Here, let's switch over to the draft leaderboard here real quick, so you can see that I'm comfortably ahead here when it comes to kind of goals, assists, PIMs, and power play points. Shots on goal are a little bit lacking, kind of in the middle, not really great or bad, and then hits and blocks, which we'll make up later in defenseman, of course. But this is good so far. This is a big difference from the last time. Oh, my dog is freaking out. One second, I need to get the door really quick. Ah! Okay, what did I miss here? Let's see. Sorry, my dog, someone knocked on the door, and it wasn't even... Oh, Bishop went. What? Love that. I mean, if Bob gets to me somehow in some crazy way, I would take him. Anyways, yeah, someone knocked on the door. I don't even think they meant to knock on my door. Love New York apartments that all look the same, so people knock on wrong doors occasionally. Okay, so... We're looking good so far. Gonna target a big shooter next, which is why I like someone like, let's queue up a few people that I like here. Obviously, I like Kane, I like Trocheck. Radulov would be a good grab somewhere. Jamie Benn, not bad. Zibanejad will be a huge grab later. I'm curious. Of course, like so far in this draft, for example, what we've seen is there hasn't been as many reaches as there were in the listener league that we did. In the listener league, there were way more reaches for people that like who people actually wanted. So that's going to be something to watch, is how many people reach and how many people fall. So I may not need to reach as far for like a Kane or a Larkin as I did in the listener league that we did previously. So I'd love Bob obviously, but I don't think it's worth taking Bob. Bennington is the fourth best goaltender for save percentage and goals against, according to my projections, if they are to be believed. I mean, if Landeskog can get to me, that'd be incredible. That's the dream, I think, at this point, is that I can have Landeskog, and obviously I love Larkin. Come on. The dream is that Landeskog falls to me. The problem is going to be, what if they both fall to me? Or, what if Kane and Landeskog fall to me? What do I do? And the problem is, of course, that I'm drafting with Brandon behind me, which makes my life so much harder. People are going goaltender here early, which is awesome. That's perfect. And they're going forward early. People are fading defenseman hard, which is perfect for me. I mean, if Erik Karlsson is there too when I get there, like, come on. I like Letang too, to be honest. I think I actually like. Let's switch over here so you can see my rankings. I don't know why these are turning green here. Let's fix this really quick. This should not be that. Strike through, no fill, and red. Okay. Cool. I actually kind of liked the fill, to be honest. Helps me see people I can't grab. So Vander Kane is still there. Landeskog, of course. And then when we look at defensemen, Giordano is the next best ranked, which is someone I'm going to watch for sure to try to get. I'm going to get Gio, because I think Gio in this league is going to go really late. That's a great grab for Marner at 24, I feel like. And then after that, defensemen are Chris Letang. Like, Darnell Nurse, John Carlson, and Chris Letang are kind of all stacked together. Victor Hedman is down here. Doughty, Hamilton, and Yossi. I really like Dahlin as well as like a second or third defenseman this year. And Risto. Like, I would love to stack Dahlin and Risto this year, to be honest. So we have Marner go. Okay, and then Fleury goes. So people are going goaltender here, which is a very good thing, and no one's taking the goaltenders that I want, which is a great thing. So I'm actually, in this league, I think if people let, the Brady Kachucks, the Landeskogs, the Larkins, the Bens, the Zibanejads, the Canes, the Trocheks fall, like, we're going to have a stellar draft. The problem, of course, is that I'm drafting right in front of Brandon, which means for every one grab I do, he can do two, which I can give him a lot of info, which is really annoying. I can give him a hell of a lot of time or info into what I'm thinking. If I take like Landeskog, for example, he might be thinking I'm taking defenseman or Vander Kane. I think what Brandon is hoping for in this next round is I think he's going to hope Yossi falls to him. And Landeskog now goes, which is a great grab. Yeah, Landeskog 26 is good. It's very, very good value. Brayden Point, I think, is going to go later than people want. Drew Doughty is a good one. Obviously, like Bennington. Of course, like Price. Trouba's interesting. I'm just marking a bunch of people here that I'd like. Braden Holtby, way too early for Braden Holtby. Marchessault's, of course. Dougie Hamilton, one of my favorites here. Thomas Chabot. So what are we hoping for here? So I guess we're hoping, damn, if Eichel falls to me, I don't, let's see where I have Eichel here. See, Eichel I have pretty low, actually, I think. Where is it? That's fine. So we have Eichel ranked 26th. So, yeah, he's fallen past his value for sure. Question really is, I would love John Carlson. I think Carlson is probably my number one defenseman I'd want here at this point. If he falls to me, he's here. I would love to get John Carlson. I would think about doing a John Carlson Giordano stack, sort of. Hedman goes with Carlson right after, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see John Carlson go here before he gets to me. And then let's take a look here at the scarcity graph, what's happening. So you can see here that it's kind of bunching together, right? So the defensemen are bunching together with the forwards for now. And then it's going to start to fall off pretty quick. So right now, I want to take a I want to take a defenseman and kind of reach for a Vander Kane. Tom Wilson is just so highly ranked because he has so many PIMs. But Vander Kane is there, and Vander Kane gives you so much, and he has so much upside in power play points this year. If he gets top power play like it's projected, Yossi now goes. Damn, defensemen are really going off the board here. It may require me to pivot off of defenseman for a second. We'll see. Although my number one defenseman is still there, I just don't. It's really worrying to reach for a Giordano, which I've regressed back his shooting percentage and everything in this too. So I'm not too worried about. Jack Eichel finally goes. That was a great grab for Eichel. I'm still doing really well actually, and people still haven't picked up blocks. So I'm very much competitive in this. Let's move you back to the draft here. Yeah, the big question mark here is just going to be what happens. It's gone very, very differently from the Listener League draft so far. Not at all like the other one. I mean, you're talking about the other one. Fourth I got. Well, I went Landeskog where Draisaitl went this time, and then I went Kane where Hedman went. It's because Landeskog's not there. I think I'm gonna go defenseman, and then go probably Vander Kane. I mean, the problem is I think Brandon might get Evander. I may just go Evander Kane just because I know Brandon will grab him if I don't. I'm just going to see what happens. See, and Aho went way earlier than he did last time, which, again, is a positional thing because there's not as many positions you're looking at. A little bit of a difference there. Okay, so Gio is still the next best defenseman by quite somewhat of a big margin, and then Bufflin being second. I'm not sure who's third defenseman right now, actually. Giordano, John Carlson is the third. Carlson still hasn't gone, has he? Okay, so we're hoping Carlson gets to me. That's the hope here, is that he falls to me. If he does, the problem, of course, is I'm worried Brandon's going to take. And Rene goes. So I'm worried about. So we have to think about what Brandon's going to do here, right? So I think Brandon would actually go. He's not huge on Carlson. I know that, but I think he'd grab him. I think Brandon's going to go Rantanen. I think he's going to take Rantanen here and take advantage of the fact that he's fallen. Now, Evander Kane to me is one of the last top 10 players available. Tom Wilson's the other one. Brady Tkachuk is 17. Gio is 18. Larkin 19. So I kind of want to get Evander Kane simply because he was so good. He's so worth it. And if I don't get Carlson, that's fine. I can then get a Letang or hell, just reach for Gio. But Evander Kane fills so many holes. I'm gonna take Evander Kane. I don't care. It's a reach, but honestly, I need to get the guys I want. And that puts me in a great place for hits too. So I told you Brandon's going Rantanen. There you go. I know him. So I think now he's going to go defenseman. Although I don't know, there's going to be some forwards that are very enticing to him. I think there's going to be some forwards that he's really going to like here. So that the Evander Kane pickup puts me really above in PIMs. I don't need to worry about PIMs almost at all anymore. Hurts me in assists, so that's where I want John Carlson is because Carlson will get me a ton of assists. So I'm hoping Brandon lets him fall, which I think he will. Worst case, I probably go someone like Chris. He goes Tarasenko. That's what I thought he'd do too. I think he tried to get a goal scorer. So here we're gonna go now. I'm worried because so here's the thing. I have good forwards now. And I have 3 more spots, right? So I want to fill that out with one of Larkin, Tkachuk, Zibanejad. But as we're seeing, the guys that you should be reaching for are not being reached for, it seems. So however these people are drafting, it's a little bit different from the Listener League draft, so I don't need to reach here. Normally, I'd go Larkin here, I think, if I needed to reach. But the problem is that my defenseman that I want is here. So I'm taking John Carlson, and I'm going to hope Dougie Hamilton gets to me on the turn. So on that next turn, what we're hoping here is that I can grab a Trocheck. I'm hoping that I can grab a Zibanejad, a Larkin, a Brady Tkachuk, reach for someone like that. I don't care how much of a reach it is. I just want to win. I want the best players possible. And then I'm also hoping that Giordano falls to me, and if not, I may actually reach a little bit for Dougie Hamilton potentially. But I want Giordano. That's our number one guy going into this next. Ideally, I think we get Larkin and Giordano. and we're in a really, really good spot. I would go Brady Tkachuk, but the thing is with Tkachuk, if you look at his makeup, a lot of PIMs. I don't really need that many PIMs. I would rather have the points of Dylan Larkin and the shots than the PIMs because I'm doing so well in PIMs already. So let's take a look here at the draft leaderboard now. So doing, I'm somewhat average in goal. Brett is crushing it in points, but he's awful in everything else. So it's gonna be a question mark big time of how he's gonna fix that. I'm doing great in power play points as predicted there, as I thought I would, kind of with how the draft has gone. I think what's going to happen in this draft is because, like last time in the Listener League draft, you saw me pull away really early. So really early I pulled away simply because I got, one, the guys I wanted, and two, people were reaching, and also just kind of going off the board. And so you saw me pull away. And I think in this one what you're going to see is people are going to play a little bit safer, take more forwards, and not play as risky. Like you see Scheifele go really early there, right? So you're seeing guys that should go early going early because they're not as afraid of the positions. And I won't pull away until the end. I think that if I can get all the guys I want in, say, Zibanejad and Trocheck and Tkachuk and Larkin and Dahlin and Doughty, any of those guys, right, that we're eyeing here, if I can get those, I think I'll pull away pretty quick. And then Pettersson, that's early for Pettersson in my opinion, but... Now Letang goes. Okay, so we're hoping Giordano falls to me. That is the dream. If he doesn't, then we're probably looking at a little bit of a different situation here. If Giordano's not there, I maybe reach for Dougie Hamilton. Only because I know for a fact Brandon would take Dougie Hamilton. Like, I know for a fact Brandon gets Dougie Hamilton on that next turn if I don't grab him. And the nice thing is that if I did that, it would actually leave Brandon in a little bit of trouble defensively, potentially. Let's look at what does Yahoo say about my standings here. Yahoo has me up to the top, understandably. Okay, so far so good. Let's take a look at this scarcity graph again real quick. So we're starting to see here, you see the defensemen are still similar here to like a second or third forward. But there's still so much value at forward here. And the defensemen are like 6th or 8th best forwards. And I think the 6th or 8th best defensemen here that are left are going to go way later. So once everyone gets their first defenseman, people are going to sit on them for a little bit. So if I can get like a Giordano, for example, I think I can sit for about 4-ish rounds until I go for a Chabot or a Dahlin or something like that. And there's only 4 defenseman spots. And I probably will not run 5 defensemen. It's usually not worth it, although there are blocks now. So potentially, if, like, let's say in the last round I'm struggling in blocks, I might just pick up a blocks guy. So that's one thing to pay attention there. Braden Point too. I'm curious when he goes. He now goes. That's what I thought. Still towards the top here, up to the top in goals, assists, towards the top in power play points. Middle in shots on goal, which is, again, one of the kind of troubling things. Towards the top in blocks, but towards the top. Again, you don't want to be it's nice to be top in everything, but you don't necessarily have to be top in everything. Really what you need to do is you need to be competitive in everything. That's the big key. If we look at the next best forward available, that would actually be, just from a value-driven standpoint compared to his peers, is Tom Wilson. And again, we see Sean Monahan go, who, to me, Monahan in this type of league is ranked 113th. So with someone like Monahan at 113th, that's a big reach. And we've seen a few reaches. Scheifele is another one. I think people are forgetting about blocks here and the fact that blocks contribute. Scheifele is 74th. I think people are forgetting about the fact that there's blocks, or potentially they're just thinking, you know what, I'm going to make this up later. I'm taking the opposite approach. I'm trying to get most value across cats. I'm trying to get the most, let's say, multi-cat monsters, which gives me just such a good floor with a lot of upside as well. So there's quite a few guys here that I really want. I mean, Zibanejad is near top of my list. So I'm curious when he'll go. But again, like I said, just seems to be one of those leagues where people aren't reaching. And as much as I'm scared of Brandon, he's not much of a reacher. That's the thing. He's not much of a reacher. It's hard for him to pass up a guy who's there that he really likes and that has a big name, and not so much a big name in the sense of he goes after people with name value. All I'm saying is, like, say a Tarasenko falls to him, he's going to take a Tarasenko over someone who should technically be, or who will most likely be rated higher than Tarasenko. He'll grab Tarasenko, believing his belief more is that at the end he can get more steals. Whereas the approach I'm taking this year in drafts is I'm saying I'm getting the guy I want, building the squad I want, and I'm still going to find value late. That's been harder in past years because there just hasn't been as much depth as there is this year, in my opinion. And so because of that, I think this year it's a lot easier to be a player that says, I'm going to wait and I'm gonna grab my guys and I'm still going to be fine. Whereas in the past years, it was like, I don't know if I can actually afford to take Kane that early when someone else is there. But this year, yeah, you totally can. Jones and Stone, that's really early for Stone. Um, I'm kind of curious how people might be drafting more with X rank, to be honest. We also saw Pavelski go way earlier than he usually. Oh, Larkin goes. No, my baby. Okay, that's fine. We still have a Kachuk out there or a Trocheck or a Zibanejad. We're fine. It's okay. I mean, I wanted Larkin. That was a steal for Larkin, but we're okay. We'll live. I've done really well so far. Crew goes. And then Giordano goes. So we do not get our guy there in Giordano. So we're hoping now for Dougie Hamilton. Because I know for a fact Brandon will take Dougie Hamilton. And Dougie Hamilton has so much upside right now. And then Binnington goes. Okay, so that was my kind of one of my top goaltenders. We're aiming for Dubnyk this year is what we're hoping for in goal right now. Let's take out Chris's team. After. Oh, that's what happened. Sorry, I was a little bit behind on my sheet here. Almost time for us here. Zibanejad goes. Okay, so now people are reaching. Okay, this is interesting. Wow, that is so late for Gensel. Such great price for Gensel. And we're going to end up with goalie trouble here. I can feel it already. Just because I don't want to reach for these prices. Okay, so like we've said before, so we're going to reach for Dougie Hamilton. Okay, folks, that's what we're doing here, as long as he doesn't get sniped from us. Dougie Hamilton, I think on the turn, we're going to go one of Brady Tkachuk, or I think actually we're going to go Timo Meier on the turn. I think we'll go Timo Meier or Brady. That's one of the two. Although, if you look at, I'll show the draft leaderboard after this, but we're hoping for Dougie Hamilton here. Phil Kessel goes, yes, we get our guy. Let's go. Okay, let me fill that in so then we can take a look at. So Brandon's going to be a little bit peeved here because I'm pretty sure he's going to want him, but he's not going to get him. So we're going to go Dougie Hamilton here. That puts me in a really, really good spot. Of course, and I haven't projected right now with not getting the top power play because of the whole Fox trade, so there's so much upside there, and he's still, the next best defenseman on the board aside from Doughty. But I'll reach for Doughty a little bit later. I think on the next turn is when we go Doughty. I think we're going to keep doing this little thing of defenseman forward or defenseman goaltender sort of thing soon. I'm going to take a wild guess that Brandon wanted Dougie, I think. Timo is probably the next person I should take. Tom Wilson is also actually really interesting. But the problem is I'm just so here. Take a look at the leaderboard so far here. So I'm hurting in points, doing really well in blocks, and Brady takes Timo Meier and Brady Tkachuk. It's like we're reading each other's mind. So Brandon takes Meier and Tkachuk from me. Oh my God, that hurts. That hurts. So here now I'm actually thinking about taking Tom Wilson. The problem is I need points. So I don't think I can actually take that. I don't think I can do that. Matthew Tkachuk is actually the next best person here. Although Huberdeau is also interesting. If we look at, let's take a look at Tkachuk really quick. I can't believe Tkachuk is still there. I mean, he hasn't signed, so that's the difficulty. Huberdeau is interesting as well. A lot of points. Still gets a lot of shots. Trocheck is also interesting. Let's just click him there. Let's take a look at Trocheck. So, I may like Trocheck. I'm gonna go Huberdeau just because I think Trocheck will fall a little bit. I maybe could have gone goaltender there, but I'm a little bit not worried, but I'm feeling my points. Okay, so that puts me in a look at that green all over the board. Ha! That's what we like to see. Let's go. The Gamby shirt works again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he was reading me there and didn't want me to get one of those guys. So now we're looking really solid in peripherals. I mean, Pim's at the top, can't really be touched too much. Blocks looking good. Only second to Dean, who is also doing actually pretty well. I'm just pretty solid across the board here, which makes me very happy. And Trocheck goes, so that's, yeah, I mean, makes sense. So now I think the next one we should start to take a look at goaltenders. Let's take a look at what goaltenders are actually still out there. Svechnikov is an interesting one for later as a big upside guy. Yeah, it's actually kind of shocking. A lot of goaltenders. Wait, how did I not do this? What? No! How did I miss that Anderson is still there? Oh, I completely botched that. I should have taken Anderson. I can't believe I missed that he was there. Damn. That's kind of brutal. Wow. I guess I'll just queue up some goaltenders here that I want, but wow, that sucks. That was hard. That was hard to see. Damn. So we'll want Darlene later too, and we obviously like Doughty, who I think Doughty's actually going to go really late in this league because we're seeing guys that, you know, they're going closer to their values or ADPs, I guess. Doughty's ADP is around 101, so we can wait there. And I mean, Trouba's a great end of the round option with the blocks, so or towards the end of the draft option. I think Hellebuck is a great gamble. I think, depending on who I get. Like if I get a Grubauer, I think I'd gamble a little bit there. Like Hart, of course. So we're gonna be okay in goaltender, but man, that kind of sucks. Although Huberdeau's a great grab. I'm not worried about grabbing Huberdeau. Okay, so if we take a look at my leaderboard again, doing well. Points is kind of my weak point. I like Tkachuk still. I think he's going to be really good. The question for me is a little bit deployment. Someone I actually really want to grab late, and I think in this league will be a steal, is Dubois. I think PLD is going to be a huge grab late in this league. So this guy here who just drafted Besser, last year he stacked Patterson and Besser as well. And so he's doing it again this year. Oh my God, I can't believe Anderson fell there. That is insane. I mean, the fact that Tuca and whatnot went before. I mean, DeBrincat too was that's a good pick. I'm drafting based on my rankings, right, and getting guys I want. You know, Dubois and Svech are interesting coming up here. March is very interesting because of his ADP. I think Pierre-Luc Dubois is actually going to be able to be a bench guy, and to me, he's a top 50 player in this league. So I'm hoping Dubois falls to me somewhat far, and then I can grab Dubois and be in a really, really good spot on my bench. Another guy that I think is going to go really late just because people are scared is going to be Bergeron. Oh, he went already. Oh, he just went. That's why I didn't see that. Connor Hellebuck now. Okay, so yeah, I may need to go goaltender on this next turn here and maybe grab a Grubauer. Who has 3 goaltenders? Why does he have 3 goaltenders? Ben Bishop, Tuukka Rask, and John. What? So that'll be someone to target in a trade because... Interesting. Okay. Risto now. Okay, so now we got to target. So this next round, I may actually go. The problem is, like, I've been showing you, right? Like, there's so much forward depth late. There's still Hoffman staring at us. There's just so much depth that. Can I put goalie as a utility? What the hell? Where'd this guy come from? There's so much depth at forward that I can fill out my defense here. And there's still a lot of defensemen, to be honest, out there. But the problem is, like, you're looking at Drew Doughty, who's ranked 38th. That's not bad. He was 51 last year. I mean, I think he's gonna be better than next year, just a little bit. I think, assuming he falls somewhere where he is, like, this is great. 72 for a defenseman like him is great value. And then, of course, like, if I can get the question mark is, I like Dahlin and Trouba and other defensemen as well. But I think my top defenseman that I want here to fill out my whole kind of defenseman core that is left, I kind of want it to be comprised. Let's add Dumba to it because I actually really like Dumba as well. But I want to fill it out. I think with Trouba, Doughty, Trouba, Doughty, Chabot, Dahlin. Those are kind of the guys I'm eyeing. Edler is a really great late option as well. Huh. Yeah, this is just one of those drafts where it feels like defensemen are going a lot. So it's I think this is going to be that one where I think I'm going to be able to get. I think it might be worth getting the defenseman I want. So yes, so if we look at my sheet here on scarcity for a second, defensemen actually become more valuable here than forwards for a little bit. Just for a bit, for very briefly, you're looking at, this is Darnell Nurse, and I think this is, let's take a look, who's the third defenseman here. So you've got, you've got Dustin Byfuglien, Darnell Nurse, and then Drew Doughty. So Drew Doughty is worth more than a forward at this point. So yeah, we're gonna be watching that pretty closely and see what happens. I think right now the thing I'm seeing is, I don't know how people are kind of ranking defensemen in this league for whatever reason, the way they're drafting, but I think the wrong defensemen are going early. I mean, this is almost making me think, like, I just want to grab like Dahlin and Doughty and be done with it, and then maybe grab Byfuglien late on the bench and throw him on my. He can't be IR plus, but grab Byfuglien, and if he retires, he retires. Like late, I think I can grab Byfuglien and like, fine. Just because there's, if people are going to keep taking defensemen like this and goaltenders like this, there's going to be so much forward. There's going to be so much forward depth left late that we're going to be fine. I mean, I might take Wilson. I might take a Doughty and Wilson here, and I get a top 50 ranked guy and a top 10 ranked guy just because of his PIMS alone. Like, fine, I guess. I'll make up the forward. I'll make up the points later in players. Like, Svech is still there. Hoffman is still there. Pierre-Luc Dubois is a great thing for points. And Pierre-Luc Dubois is... I see a lot of hate for Pierre-Luc Dubois on like that he was just a product of Panarin. It's absolutely not true. I'm gonna try to pull something up here on my other screen so that I can show you kind of his impact. But he's an incredible play driver on his own. Like he will be fine without Panarin. And here's why. Let me pull this up for real quickly. Where's this? How does he do this now? Okay, here we go. Let's switch over to this. So this is I don't know how to show this, but anyways, so what you can see, this is the wrong guy. Is this Dubois? This is his. Okay, so this is Dubois alone. Sorry, it's this is Dubois alone. Plus 10.5% over the average, minus 6.7% in his own zone. When he's on the ice, this is kind of how the team performs when he's on the ice, but this is his isolated impact. Teammates were slightly better offensively, just a little bit. I mean, you're looking at Panarin being included in the teammates, and then not as good defensively. So he's great on the offensive side of the ice and defensive side of the ice. He'll be fine. I'm not worried one bit about him. So now Trouba goes. That's fine that Wilson goes. I'm not worried about not getting Wilson simply because I got Malkin. Because I got Malkin, I don't mind. So I'm almost up here. Hoffman went. So so 83rd overall. If we look at, let's come over to my thing here. The other thing I need to think of here is, what is Brandon gonna want to do? I think he may try to reach for like a Svetch. So Svetch is right here, and Doughty is right here. If Brandon were to go Doughty, I'd probably just go Nurse and not worry about it, or Darlene. So I'm less worried about losing Doughty as I am Svechnikov. The problem with Svetch is obviously his ADP is really high. We're starting to get into the territory where the top guys in this league actually are ranked pretty low. Like, you can get them really late. So, like, the late guys are the ones that are going to go early. So here we're actually going to go Svetch. Yeah, we're going to go Svechnikov here. And I'm curious now to see what Brandon does. I don't think he's actually going to take any of my defensemen, but I think I could. I feel fairly good, especially after he sniped me, Meyer and Larkin. I feel pretty confident, or Zibanejad, whoever it was. I feel pretty confident that he would have tried to snipe me, Svechnikov there. And he goes Darnell Nurse just like that, just like I thought. He can take Nurse. I'm going to take Doughty if he's there. Now I'm curious to see what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 2 defensemen here. I don't think he will. I think I'm going to leave goaltenders on the board still, because there's 4 I like, and I think one of them will get back to me at least. But again, there is an issue here of a lot of goaltenders starting to go. I need points, kind of. Like, that's one of the things I'm kind of looking at on my sheet here is he goes Dumba. Interesting. Okay, so Brandon, like I thought, goes 2 defensemen here. Okay. And he goes Dumba. So I'm kind of getting into point trouble, but that's okay. Remember the listener league, how we did this. Jonathan Taves is available late. Anders Lee late. There's a lot of people who can get me just points. Sean Couturier is still there. There's a lot of people still here. Now, here I'm debating between going goaltender or defenseman. The problem here is I think that Darlene has... I'm between Doughty and Darlene. So Darlene is encompassed of 71, 127, 109. He's mostly more of a point getter. Same PIM upside, more shots on goal. What do I need? Let's look. I need power play points. Let's go Doughty here. That's fine. It's okay. I get a top power play guy. Lots of some upside there. Good peripherals still. Sorry, I keep forgetting to switch back over to the draft itself. But take a look at the leaderboard now, where I stand. I fall in goals. So I'm struggling in points here. Fantastic in peripherals, but this is kind of something I can fix. And you can see that Brandon's kind of comprising his team very similarly, if you can tell. We kind of look similar in the way we're building our teams here. So this is looking rather interesting. Now here I need to fix points at some time. One second. Bandit's barking, which means I probably need to get... And then Darlene goes right after me, which makes a ton of sense there. As we're seeing, defensemen just go so much, you know. Okay, so yeah, we're seeing defensemen go, and then now one of my goaltenders goes, which is fine. I mean, you know, right now I'm feeling so good about my team so far that I'm not all that worried. You know, first in blocks by quite a margin, towards the top in hits, which is fine. I can fix that later with some bench people, or Gudas, for example. Gudas is actually this year on the bench, fantastic option. Maybe the year to run 5D in a blocks hits PIMS league, because Washington has so many off nights. So first in shots on goal, second in power play points by only 4, which is awesome. Top in PIMS, top in assists, goals third. I mean, I'm crushing it. I couldn't ask for better so far. I think I've made the right decisions. I think that kind of thing I was doing, where it was defense forward, has worked out splendidly. And I'm almost positive Brandon would have taken Svechnikov. I'll ask him after, but I feel pretty confident he would have taken Svech. Yeah, so I mean, here at this point, like one of the things that I need to start to pay attention to is okay, I need to fill out my one. I need a final defenseman here. Also, I'm gonna need a final defenseman. So when we look at what's out there for defensemen still, so Dustin Bufflin is actually a very interesting, very late grab that I'll consider. Other than that, like Gudas and OEL are the next best in Petrie. So I would want. I like the idea, or Yandel. Yandel's actually a fantastic late option because of his power play points and assists. I mean, he'll stack me in assists. Not so much in the peripherals, but again, I have peripherals, so who cares? And that's another power play. So then I have potentially 4 defensemen that are for top power play, which is insane. And then Oliver Ekman-Larsson is good for the hits. Something actually I'm not necessarily lacking in, but I'm third in hits right now. So something I could think about is OEL. Bufflin goes 93rd. I'm fine not getting him, to be honest. No, okay, Bufflin. Yandel goes. That's really early for Nugent Hopkins. I mean, there's still first-line players out there that are worth way more. So, okay, I know who Brandon's going to go next. If next up, Mantha is going to go if I don't grab him. Brandon will grab Mantha next. I can guarantee you that if I left him. So yeah, I think that now, I mean, my 4th defenseman here, I'm very much between, now that Yandel went, I'm very much between grabbing an Edler, who could get me a ton of blocks and peripherals, and has point upside in the sense of if Hughes kind of slows down, then you don't have to worry about it as much. So I'd probably at this point I want to go OEL or wait for one of Gudas or Edler and grab one of those two guys. That's I think what I'm eyeing here. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be pretty damn hard to beat me in PIMS. I mean, I am first in PIMS by like the widest of margins. It's insane. I don't know what this shows on here. Yeah, by almost 100 PIMS. Like people are. That's why I didn't need Tom Wilson. I'm fine not getting Tom Wilson. I will be a-okay. So Wayne Simmons is also great late for I have PIMS, which is the problem. Like I have to start. I don't have to worry about PIMS as much. Like I love Taze, for example. Taze is an awesome option that I think is going to get slept on with a ton of points. These power play points feel way too low. I mean, he got 23 last year. I don't see why that's going to slow down, especially if they get an elite guy like Boquist up there. Yeah, and so now this is why I went to. So people wonder why I went defenseman early and so early. Back to back every round, was because of this. Now defensemen have kind of fallen off. It's not until here kind of that we're seeing, at this point, the third best forwards. You see Pierre-Luc Dubois and Patrick Laine, and then that's where it gets a little bit closer. Right here in this third is, okay, you're seeing it be a little bit close. And I also probably guarantee you that if I don't grab OEL, Brandon will grab OEL. I think Brandon next round is looking at OEL and Mantha as his people. I think that's who he's eyeing. You see he has 2 defensemen right now. I think he'd love to add a third or a fourth. Or third, sorry, top power play. And there's not many top power play defensemen left out there that actually get you anything other than points, like Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar or that. Tyson Barrie, early. I think anything is too early, as long as like there's an Oliver Ekman-Larsson or something out there. Tyson Barrie's too early. Pierre-Luc Dubois is still one of my absolute favorites. So I think this next round, what I want to do is I want to go, I think, forward, and then I think I'm going to shore up my defense. So it depends. I think if OEL goes, I'm not going to worry too much about. And Dustin Brown is another one for late, as is Palmieri. Let's get Palms in there. Okay, let's switch back over to the draft here. Pierre-Luc Dubois, damn. He went early. It sucks. That's okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go goaltender. I mean, now we're seeing a lot of... So now we're seeing a lot of forwards start to go, which is fine for me. That's actually perfect, because now I'm going to get the goaltender I want probably in Dubnyk and Gruber. I mean, there is a case here for me to go goaltender, because I could get my 2 guys in Dubnyk and Grubauer. That could be a really interesting option, actually. I'd get my 2 kind of mid-tier best goaltender. Dubnyk to me is ranked 10th. Grubauer is ranked 11th. Um, I just really don't like the bottom option. I like Markstrom. Like I think if I get Dubnik and don't go goaltender and I have to resort to an OEL goes. So okay, there's an interesting case here for goaltender. Very interesting case. The problem is if I choose wrong, I think I could see. I mean, it's okay if Brandon's not going to go goaltender. Edler and Gudas are the next two best ranked defensemen, and there's not really anybody that gets me top power play, so I don't really care anymore about defensemen, unless it's. Yeah, I don't really care about defensemen. Oh, Goss Despair is someone I need to watch. Duh. He's ranked 118th though, so he's maybe a good bench. So I would love to have Gudas on my bench, and then have Goss Despair. That would be my dream. Kale McCarr. What? Why? Please keep taking all these people, just so I can get the guys I want. Kako, Kale McCarr. Okay, so we need goaltenders here. I'm doing so well everywhere else. I mean points are kind of not necessarily becoming a problem, but I mean I can fix that with a Taze. Let's see where Mantha is ranked, because I'm pretty sure Brandon will reach for Mantha here. Mantha have 104. Not really worth it for me. I mean, if he gets him, that's fine. He's up there in the forwards that are still left. Barzell is a great points option later too. That I think people will sleep on a ton. LeBanc, that is interesting. So I think here I'm gonna go. I think I might go goaltender. To be honest. So my number one here is Dubnik for sure. Let's see if Brandon goes. Let's see if Brandon's gonna go Mantha like I thought he would. So here I have a little bit of an interesting option. I can wait until he goes Line A. I like that actually. Shocking that Brandon. And then here comes the Mantha pick, right? It has to be the Mantha pick. I mean, come on. I can't believe Brandon got Line A. So yeah, this puts me in an interesting option because I can wait now for Markstrom, or I can wait for Markstrom, or I can pick up Philly Grubs. Or I can get my favorite boy in Carter Hart. I mean, Elliott's looked awful in preseason. I mean, just god awful. So there's a good chance I think that he looks good. And Ricky Rax. That's an odd pick. I'm not a fan. So let's see. So we've seen a lot of defensemen go here late. I can still wait on Gostisbehere and Shea Theodore's there. Forwards I still like a lot. And my deficit is in points forwards, which I don't think are going to go right now. I think we're going to start to see some peripheral guys go. So I think I'm going to go goaltender. My big decision here is, do I go Carter Hart or Philly Grubs? I think Philly Grubs is a little scary because I don't think he is actually. Carter Hart and Grubs are like the same player essentially. But I like Carter Hart more. He's my favorite. I'm going Grubauer. Ah, so we get great goaltenders. Lots of volume, most likely. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling real good. Where does it put me? It puts me 5th. What? Dude, how am I 5th? I mean, I think save percentage is a little low there, but fine. A little low in blocks. I can fix that with an Edler or something. Fallen in hits, actually, which is weird. So let's take a look at the draft leaderboard now. You can see he's still kind of low in points here. Brandon went up in goals because of Line A. So I'm going to need power play points here. I'm shocked Mrazek went before Hart. What? If Hart gets back to me, I'm going to be kind of pissed. So now I need points. Points and power play points, which is good. That's a good thing. I can do that now. I don't have to worry about peripherals. You see everyone else that's lacking in peripherals here, except for Brandon and I, of course, and Eric. I mean, aside from like us three, everyone else needs to start worrying now about their peripheral guys. Whereas we have elite guys that get points plus peripherals. So now we can just go after straight points guys, and the points are more secure. Then now I need to say, oh, well, I need points upside and also peripherals, but the points are a big question mark. Like, It's weird. So I think for me, I still feel like I'm in a very, very good spot here. Kyle Palmieri. I mean, there's still so many good options. Dustin Brown will put me up in hits. Kyle Palmieri will put me up in hits. Um, I'm not. I'm not really worried. Jonathan Tays. He won't put me up in hits, but Anders Lee is good. I'm not as annoyed anymore about the Anderson miss. I think I'm fine on missing out on Anderson. Okay. So now's where it starts to get interesting because I'm curious to see what people's strats are going to be as they go forward. Man, love Markstrom. In theory, I could. I'm not going to go 3 goaltender though. It is a 4-start league, but I have so much volume in Dubnik and Grubauer that it doesn't matter. Getzlaf is actually somewhat of an interesting option. Sort of. Hurdle is actually fallen a little far here. That's a good place for Ekblad. Now, this next pick, what we're hoping for, I think, is that I think we'll take one of Gudas or Edler. I don't know if I'd reach this early for Gudas, maybe after, but he's going to be a huge get if we can. Just puts you on the top and hits, and then yeah, there you go. Hurdle goes, just as I call him out. Not even streaming it, and I'm predicting these things. Okay. So does Brandon have a goaltender yet? I don't think he does. He has Vasilevsky. I forgot about that. Okay, so he's totally gonna target Markstrom. That's his goaltender that he's eyeing. Tays goes, man. Goaltender's going a little early point getter's going a little earlier than I expected, which is okay. We're still looking fine. Yeah, I mean, I want Gudas and Edler. I may go Edler next, but I want Gostisbehere. I mean, there's so many good defensemen that I want. Gostisbehere just has upside. I mean, how did Provorov go before Gostisbehere? People are just paying attention to blocks too much there. That one is just paying attention way too much to blocks, I think. Gostisbehere is going to be top power play. Unless people forgot about that. And he blocks pretty. I mean, Gostisbehere got 102 blocks last year. It's not bad. And even in a bad year, he shot 180 and got 14 points, power play points. So, Barzell is another one that I'm eyeing here as a great kind of option. The next best power play point getter is actually Teuvo and Kobe. Those are some 2 good options, actually. Oops, misspelled him. 2 T's. Turbo is a good option. When we look at Kobe. Kobe's a really interesting option late. Really, really, really interesting option. Barzell, of course, as well, is a good one for points and power play points. And this is, I'm getting into one of the last forward spots here. Johansson is also in this league for me, who needs points, a decent option. And then Palmieri, of course, who I love. let's see what starts to happen here. So we see Josh Anderson go, not surprising there. Again, like I was saying, remember, people are going to start to worry about peripherals. And so we're going to see peripheral guys go, which means to me, I'm going to be able to grab these point guys or guys like Palmieri or Brown that are the people they should be going after if they need peripherals, but for whatever reason, people aren't getting them. That's a great grab for Nylander right there, 11th round. That's later than I got him last year, and he was holding out. I mean, that was partially on me, but still. I don't think I've heard sounds from Yahoo. Have I? I don't know. Maybe I haven't. Barzell went. Damn. I mean, I think one big bet I'm making this year, though, and it's a little bit of a dangerous one, to be honest, is I'm betting big on Kane. I'm betting big on Evander Kane having a big season points-wise, especially because of the top power play. Brandon is totally targeting Markstrom. That's so annoying that he's going to get him. Or Hart. I guess at this point he could also target Hart. I'd rather have Hart than Markstrom, I think. Yeah, some of these teams need defensemen. And, like, I have 3 top power play defensemen and 1 waiting. Or I could get an Edler. I mean, I don't really have to get a top power play defenseman anymore. I really like Anders Lee coming up here soon. I think he's going to fall farther. No one really likes Anders Lee. There are some Islander fans in this here, though, so he may fall a little bit, or he may go a little higher than you'd expect. Kadri is also actually a little bit of a sneaky pick for later, but, you know, Teuvo goes, so people are clearly eyeing. So I may need to go here. I think I may go Palmieri and... I don't really care what Brandon's going to do here next. It doesn't really affect me much. You know, like Anders Lee, people sleep on him, but he finished 80th last year. And some things were unsustainable, but assume he has a very similar season, maybe worse. And I mean, I think to an extent, people are projecting him a little too high for goals, potentially. But in my projections, I've regressed him back from goals, and he's 65th. Like from shooting percentage, so I don't know. He's not very consistent, though. That's one thing I don't like about him. Whereas Edler is. Palmieri went. So okay, so I'm having my hand forced a little bit here, and needing to get Anders Lee. And Kadri goes. Makes sense. Okay, so here now I have a few options. I can go defenseman and get my guy in Shane Gostisbehere, who, aside from like Quentin Hughes, I think, is the last top power play guy. The problem is there, then I leave myself kind of open to blocks issues. Whereas Edler would give me really good kind of coverage on that. And Brandon could actually potentially go for Edler here. Man, I'm a little bit on the edge on what to do here. I really want... Kopi is an interesting one, too, here. I mean, Skinner is out. Jeff Skinner's who I need to get here. Yep, Skinner's who I need to reach for. Gets me those goals. Totally forgot about him. Yeah, that puts me... And now Brandon grabs Mantha. That's fine. And he gives me all those shots on goal, too, which is great. So that now puts me in a good spot power play point-wise. So I could still use a little bit of power play points here. I could use assists to help as well. So if we look at standings here... Assists, I'm falling behind it, and goals falling behind it, and power play points. Okay. So Anders Lee is a good option here. Pulak, weird. I'm just struggling between this decision of do I want to go, 2 peripheral defensemen last, like I get Gudas really late and I get Edler now, or do I go Anders Lee and get points? I think Anders Lee will be gone if I don't grab him now, so I'm gonna grab Anders Lee. maybe a little bit of a reach, but there's Islander fans in here, and I want to guarantee I get him because he's the last. He's the last guy in here that's he's the highest ranked guy left at 65. Next is, Radko Gudas, who obviously because he's just so indexed in other areas, and then Alexander Edler, then Petrie, then Dustin Brown, then Kopi. Edler goes. Hate it. So now I'm hoping Gossesbear gets to me, so I can go Gossesbear and Gudas, or I'll just do Gudas last. Like I don't really care. That'd be fine for me. Yeah, I really want to get Gossesbear. Patrick Hornquist is also sneaky. Put me in third in standings. Recovered well in goals. First in PIMS by a lot. Of course, Brandon is right there. Okay, Quinton goes. Like I said, I'm not that high on Quinton. Especially in a league like this that has so many peripherals. Like he fills out maybe 2 categories for you, and that's it. I don't want that. To me, the way I see this league unfolding is that I have 3 elite defensemen, or at least very high-ranked defensemen. And in that, it's going to be harder to replace those. Like, I'm not going to be able to find as much on the wire for defensemen this year. I don't think there's going to be as much turnover as there was last year. And the guys that are up there are young, which means that they're not going to get. Like, let's say Boquist does it. I mean, Pearson is one that I'm going to watch and potentially take late. Morrissey is again just one of those guys that he's fine. Not super high on him. So I'd rather. I'm happy with the defense that I have. Whereas in forward, I can fill up my forwards pretty nicely towards the end, or off of the waiver wire too. Still feeling really good. Feeling really, really good. And Brandon is 100% eyeing Markstrom. I just know it. I can't believe Carter Hart is still there. It's kind of annoying me, honestly. I should have just waited. I didn't expect Carter Hart to still be there. I'm almost thinking of taking Carter Hart and trying to trade him. Because some people don't. He has no goaltenders. Well, he had told us early, 1 defenseman. Oh my God, that's a problem. He has this weird strategy of like not really wanting defensemen or goaltenders and just using forward spots, but it didn't really work last. It can come crumbling. It like works some weeks, and then other weeks it comes crumbling down. It's not at all sustainable. I can't believe Petrie went and Suter went when there's Gossesbear and Shea Theodore still there. Like. I don't get it. I mean, if you look at this team, like, dude, got Provorov, Weber, like, not top power play, not top power play, not top power play. Stacked the guy for top power play. Like, it's just such a bad move. And then Parayko, like, why are defensemen going that shouldn't be going? This is great for me, obviously, but this shouldn't happen. I just hope Dustin Brown falls to me. I would love on this turn to go Dustin Brown, Gossesbear. That would be ideal. Ideal as I get Dustin Brown, Gossesbear. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the... Let's flip over here to the leaderboard. Doing well in goals. Skinner helped a lot with that. Okay in assists. Assists are really what I need to bring up, as well as blocks. I think Gudas will help a lot with that. Gossesbear isn't a bad option for that. If we look at kind of who's up there in blocks still that's left, you see, the obvious Chris Russells and whatnot. Essa Lindell is interesting for blocks alone. Last year finished 133, so he is an interesting kind of option, but just not top power play, which I don't care about. Gudas is right here, and Gudas is just a great. I want Gudas. I want to. If I can get Gudas, I'll run 5D this year, for sure. Well, the problem is that now that I'm seeing Petrie and whatnot go, I'm a little worried Gudas is going to go. And I don't think anyone's going to touch Brown. Zucker is also someone I've gotten last round in every draft, and he's a pretty good get for points mostly. Blake Coleman is also a peripheral guy that I could get, but I just don't really need the peripherals, to be honest. But I'm just gonna mark him because why not? Joel Pearson. Maybe take a flyer on him late. And then Gostisbehere went. Damn. Okay, so we'll go Gudas next. I'm fine with that. I'm fine reaching for him. I mean, he's gonna be a great get, and I can get one of. Maybe I'll take Pearson really late with a flyer, and just see what happens. Gostisbehere. Varley's still there too. I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon actually wants Varley over Markstrom. I'm kind of bummed I took goaltenders, honestly, because, or at least I'm kind of bummed I took my 2 goaltenders, because Carter Hart shouldn't still be here. And I forget who I was going to take there, but Sergachev, folks, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I actually might go. I would debate actually going Shea Theodore Gudas here if he's still there, maybe, because there's still so many forwards left that that'll be okay. And I'm on my bench for forwards. Fill out my bench for defense. Guarantee my peripherals pretty much in a guy that's going to get a ton of off nights in Gudas. And then after that, start targeting guys like Johansson, target guys like Dustin Brown. The problem is Dustin Brown is just so good. The problem is, who do I get? Shea Theodore or Gudas? I don't think Brandon would reach for Gudas this early. I don't think. He only needs one more D, and he's not a fan of running 5D. I think if I were to pick up Theodore, he wouldn't grab a defenseman here. Maybe. I think. So I think I'm going to go Shea Theodore, and then after that, he was bad last year, like really, really bad. Because I don't think there's really any defensemen left that are going to be top power play. Brandon could go. I think he might go Doughty, though. Or not Doughty, Brown. Man. No, I'm not going Shea Theodore. I'm gonna go Doughty. Or go Brown. Why do I keep saying Doughty? Damn it. So on the leaderboard, it looks like I'm missing an assists. He gets some decent amount of assists. Needs some hits too. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need in a player. Of course, he's on my bench, but that's okay. I told you he was going to go Shea Theodore. Did I not? Did I not say he was going Shea Theodore? Oh, man. I've predicted probably half of his picks here. So in defense, I mean, I don't really know who I guess I'd take a flyer on Morrissey. He'll probably be top power play if they don't make a trade. Told you he wanted Varley too. Did I not say that? I know him so well. It's insane. Okay, so now I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I could also handcuff myself and take Gardner. I could do that later. I don't need to do that now. So the real question here is, what do you do with Need assists more than anything. Gudas isn't going to do that for me, but there are a lot of players that could. Like Ryan Johansson, for example, is a great one. They don't have a lot of off nights. Ryan Getzlaf gets a lot, and he has a lot of off nights, so he's a good option. And gets peripherals as well. There's always the issue of injuries. Gusev is a ooh, folks. I think we found our gem. We're taking Gusev here. It's risky because I might not get other guys that I want, but you know what? If I'm going to take a flyer, that's the guy to take a flyer on that late. Oh, yeah. I can't believe Carter Hart is still there. What? I don't get why people aren't picking up Carter Hart. It's absolutely shocking to me. Almost makes me want to grab it just because I can trade him later when he's good. Or just kind of guarantee goalie cats. I mean, this is the thing, right? So super high in goals, super high in assists. But again, like the problem with this team is it's all forwards. Like you're not going to be able to play all these guys. Sure, it's ranking you as having a ton of goals and a ton of assists and a ton of everything, but like you can't play all these guys. It's not. This isn't a good strategy. This is an awful strategy of completely fading defensemen. I mean, if it works, I'm happy to reap what I'm happy to eat my words later, but it's not. It's not going to work. I can tell you right now, it's not going to work. Oh my God, Lundqvist is going above Hart. What is happening? They're going to force my hand to take Hart and then trade him. Like, I will do it. I will do it. I mean, really what's going to happen this draft here is I'm going to take probably... I mean, if Hart's there, I will take Hart. I hate running 3 goalies, but I can't help it. Like, I'll trade one of these guys. They're all in kind of the same range, so whichever one gets me the best return, I'll trade. Like, this league is trade happy too, so that's fine. If he gets to me, that'll be insane. And then I think after that, I'll probably go Gudas. And then after that, I want to take a flyer on... I think I can get Johansson or Zucker or whatever late. And then there goes Hart. Okay, so that makes my life a lot easier. Yeah, the problem here with taking someone like Johansson is that I want Getzlaf, I think. Getzlaf is someone who I really want here next. Getzlaf, and I would really like Johansson as well. The problem with Johansson, like I said, is just not that many off nights. Which kind of sucks. I actually really like Josh Morrissey. Huh. Like Josh Moore here, I could go... I don't think anyone's going to take Getzlaf. I could go Morrissey Gudas. But I may want to pick up Pearson later anyways, eventually. Ooh, and that got bright. Hello. Hello, camera. I'm so glad I didn't have to grab Hart. That's a great tandem. This team did exactly the tandem that I wanted. The Bennington Hart tandem. That's fine. I'm still really happy with mine. My alternative one, I either wanted Bennington Hart, like I got in the Listener League, or I wanted this, which is Grubauer and Dubnik. Carlson, Darcy Kemper. Okay, so we're hoping for a few things here. I mean, everyone I want is still there. Ehlers still there is a great option as well. Is Connor still out there? Oh, he is. I can put Connor on IR plus. Incredible. That would save me in points pretty much. Holy crap, that would be amazing. I completely forgot about it. And Connor goes, of course. It's like people can read my mind, I swear. So annoying. Big fan of Lawson Krause as well. Who's the most in goals left? Athanasiou. Jake DeBrusk. I don't hate DeBrusk, but JVR is somewhat of a interesting option as well. I wonder if Brandon's going to be eyeing Kasha. Probably not. He'll probably watch him for pickups. I could see Brandon going after Chernak too. Definitely see him going after Chernak. This is way too low in projections. He is not. I mean, this is what he did last year, and he didn't even play a full season. He's going to destroy that total. But I don't like that he's on a line. And JVR goes, oh my God. People are reading my mind. I don't want JVR. It's okay. Keep taking people I don't want. Great grab there with Heeshear. Great grab. Still doing really well. I'm feeling really good. Really good. Let's jump over to the leaderboard for a quick second. So you can see that I'm kind of lacking in assists. So that's where Johansson or Ehlers, and someone like that. Like, I mean, Bailey is somewhat interesting as well. I already have Anders Lee though, so I don't really want to do that. Damn it, Getzlaff went. Annoying. So Johansson is still there. Who I like. I think Johansson would probably be my number one get. The problem, of course, being just those off nights. I hate that. Morrissey is actually great because he gets a lot of assists and blocks. He's the next guy I really want with Ehlers as well. I mean, I like both of those guys quite a bit. Annoyed Getzlaff went. I didn't think he'd actually get grabbed. Probably could have waited on Gusev, to be honest. There's just so much upside there. I'll take it. I have quite a few upside guys. Zvech is an upside bet. Hamilton is an upside bet. Vander Kane is an upside bet. Malkin a little bit too, somewhat like in points wise. Grubauer is a big bet. Yeah. Dylan Strome. That feels early. I gotta think about what Brandon's gonna want to do. I think he might want to take Morrissey. I think if it. The smartest thing to do here may be taking Morrissey and Johansson if he's there. But I'm also thinking of going Morrissey, Gudas. And then my last bench spot will be one of Zucker, Johansson, or Ehlers, which I think any of them will get to me. That'll leave me a little lacking in. If I take Gudas, yeah, I actually like the idea of taking Gudas and Morrissey here if they get to me. The problem is I think Brandon will take. I think Brandon will take one of Gudas or Morrissey. Although no, wait, really? Let's see. What's his team looking like here? He has his defenseman filled. He probably will not. I don't see him taking defenseman here. Damn it, Morrissey went. Ah! Okay, so here, what are we hoping for? I guess we're hoping for Gudas. Pretty much. I mean, Brandon needs assists too, so I could see him going for like a Johansson, but Gudas is by far the best option here. I wish I would have gotten another defenseman, but that's fine. for Toronto. Okay, that's fine. The problem here is thinking about what Brandon's going to do. I could be completely ballsy and take a flyer on Joel Pearson for top power play, but I can do that later. I think Gudas is the play here and let Brandon take his pick of the litter in whoever else. Ideally, I think I'd want... I told you! I said Chernak! And he took Ehlers from me, which is okay. I'll take Johansson. The only thing I don't like about Johansson is the off nights. I could do Eric Stahl as well, who's not an awful option. Quite a few power play points as well. Could also do Furland, honestly. I think Johansson is my safest, smartest bet here. Just those off nights. Really doesn't do much for me in the off nights. Zucker gets more shots, a little bit more balanced. I'll go Zucker here. Went a little bit off the board there instead of going. Then Johansson goes right after me like I thought. It's just the off nights thing. I'm not going to... I just don't think I'm going to be able to play him. He doesn't offer anything else. So I'd only play him in situations where I'm down in assists. Zucker offers me a little bit more coverage. And last picks are always for risks. So if it comes to it, I will take Joel Pearson. Yeah, assists. I'm down assists. That's my weakest point here. Power play points I'm weak in too, but I think that's because if you guys are under projected. Bandit. He's trying to bark. Come here. He's trying to say hello. He's a big fan of the team so far. Here, take a look at the leaderboard so far. Brandon and I, shockingly, are built almost exactly the same. Like, almost to a T. It's hilarious. I could use some blocks if I really wanted to go a kind of surprise out of the blue kind of block guy. I feel good about my team. I think from a starting lineup perspective, I feel my team can compete any day from a starting lineup. Kakanyemi, fine. So what are we eyeing here next? Let's see who the best... Bring it over while I'll do my research here. Let's look at the top assist guys left. Let's rank by assists here and see what's out there. So Granlund is out there still, who is interesting. You have David Krejci still there. Krejci is a somewhat interesting option, especially with Bergeron, always getting injured. He's day-to-day now. Kind of a problem. But I don't really need peripherals. Like, if I look at peripherals towards the top, I really fell off in blocks, which is kind of crazy because I was doing really well in blocks, but that's okay. Bailey is not a bad option. Don't mind JT Miller. There's also Schmaltz, who could be playing on the wing with Kessel. We're getting into troubling territory. I mean, I don't completely hate Ronick here. Honestly, probably going to take a flyer on Pearson and just fix it later. My assists are low, but that's fine. And then if he gets top power play, then you've kind of fixed my power play situation there. So Pearson will probably be that next one up. And Josh Bailey gets so many assists. If we look at last year by rank, this is ranked by assists for this year projected. And you see the ranks, like a lot of these guys are not towards the top. Ekholm was there. Duncan Keith is actually semi-interesting, but he's not going to be top power play. Parise's still there. Huh. Parise. Wonder where I have him at. I have him ranked 186. Not great, but he kind of fills out some cats that I might need. I think I take the flyer on. Okay. So we're a little behind here on the sheet. Let's fill this out here. See what's up. So I'm gonna take. Yeah, I'll take. I'm just gonna take Pearson here and try to hope that I get another top power play person. I mean, almost every single person on my team is top power play, which is insane. Aside from Svechnikov, who's a big question mark, and Gudas obviously, but everyone else is top power play, which is awesome. I'm gonna fall a lot in rankings. I mean, I'm good for now. I'm gonna fall a lot because of how did my save percentage fall? Wasn't it 918? How did it fall to 915 all of a sudden? Unless it was always 915. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, so here we're going Joel Pearson if he gets to me. I highly doubt anyone steals Joel Pearson from me. And Boquist is interesting too, but I want to save him for. I can pick him up in waivers if I really need to. Bailey, Quick. So let's look at draft results by position here. This team is just this is insane. Faded goaltenders and defensemen completely, like entirely, which is just madness. I can't think of a worse strategy that I'd employ, to be honest. It's especially in a blocks league. Like, that's a whole cat that you're completely disregarding. You're completely disregarding blocks. You're most likely completely disregarding hits. Sure, it's going to be hard to beat them in, and you're completely disregarding goaltenders. Like, that's awful. I don't recommend anybody do that strategy. I mean, I know why he's trying it. He had a little bit of success with it last year, but it all came crumbling down in the playoffs. I would not recommend you to do that at all. Especially this late, like Kasha. I would rather have a goaltender than Kasha. Even Druin, like, or Chucky, like Teddy Bluger. People love Teddy Bluger. We're not buying it. Joel Pearson. Schmaltz is a great late grab here too if anyone pays attention. I'm kind of curious. I know that the next two people listen to the podcast occasionally, so I could. Oh, the cat wants to auto draft again. Ugh. He's trying to auto draft me. I'm getting Joel Pearson. I know that the denominators listens to the podcast for sure. Let's see if we can predict Brandon's next move here. Markstrom is going to go undrafted. That's insane. Zach Parise. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so here we're going Joel Pearson. Let's go. Joel Pearson. Brandon's going to laugh. So yeah, if you want to, if you've made it this far and you are interested in listening, listen to Brandon's side. Listen to Brandon's side on the podcast side. I think he'll be recording it. I'm not 100% positive. I'll find out after the draft whether he did or not. But just pay attention to the actual draft itself, or to the podcast draft. I'm paying attention to the draft. I'm curious to see who Brandon takes here. I don't know who's going to take. I mean, Ferland is a good option. I actually like Ferland quite a bit this late. Oh my God! Look at that! I could have predicted Brandon's entire draft. I don't even know why we're watching this thing. So anyways, there you go. Let's take a look at the leaderboard really quick. So Brandon, let me add in Ferland for him for a second. Remove Parise here. Let's take a look at the leaderboard as it populates. So Ferland helps Brandon in quite a few areas, brings down his assists a little bit, but helps in peripherals. So the good thing is here, I have Brandon beat, and I'm very competitive with these. So I'm happy with my draft. I mean, assists are a little down, but I think that's because I'm taking upside guys, and I'm okay with that. So I'm competitive. And again, like I said, I think in the listener league, I'd rather have goals become assists than try. I'd try to bank on goals becoming assists than assists becoming goals, if that makes sense. It's more likely to go that way than the other way. So I feel good. I feel really good. I'm crushing it in PIMS. Did really well in power play points. I mean, these two people are just so... If you remove these two who are just so high, and you know, this is funny because this is the team that completely faded defensemen. And, like, they're not even that much higher in assists or in power play points or in shots on goal for what they did, which is kind of crazy. So look at that variance. But yeah, I think I did really well. I'm really happy with how my draft went. I'm really balanced. I'd say that this is probably the best drafted team right here, potentially. Gonna have a little bit of trouble in hits every week, hands down. So, but we'll be competitive in everything else. So I'd say that Dean, myself, and Brandon have the best teams. Let's take a look at Dean's team really quick before we sign off here, just so you can see how he did. Who is that? Is that Ovi's Overlords? It is. So McKinnon, Draisaitl, Point, lots of point guys, right? Now took a Chuck. That's a question mark, of course, but I think he'll come back fine. Wanted Dubois so bad, so that brings him up a lot. Good defenseman in Hedman, Giordano. Of course, one big thing that's helping Dean here. Oh, I didn't switch over to the league. Sorry. One big thing that's helping him is Dustin Byfuglien. If Byfuglien does not play, yikes, that's gonna be trouble. So that'll be interesting. Other than that, I hate these goaltenders. These goaltenders are not going to win you much. So, you might get you'll get wins, of course, but the save percentage and goals against average is just going to be atrocious. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Maybe down in the comments, let us know what your favorite pick was, what you would have done differently, and we'll see you around. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.